Welcome back to Salaxley TV. Today we are honored to join by Marchese, the director of Seattle Office Labor Standard. Recently, OLS announced the largest settlement in the history, more than $15 million with Uber Eats for alleged violation affecting over 16,000 app-based workers. This case sets a new benchmark for protecting workers in Seattle, Seattle growing gig economy. And thank you, Director, for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy to be here.
And this 15 million settlement, the largest OLS history, what makes this case so significant for the Seattle workers for the labor protection across the country?
Yeah, so this is a case that involved, really was focused on our gig economy here. It involved Uber Eats, as you mentioned, and it involved a couple of different issues and two different ordinances, two different laws that were involved here. One law called the Independent Contractor Protection Law really relates to what information workers need to know regardless, not just gig workers, but anybody as an independent contractor before they actually start working, so they know what they're going to be getting paid and what they're expected to do. The other law is based on app-based workers minimum payment. And both of those laws were involved here and involved large numbers of workers, over 16,000, as you said, who were working and taking engagements, taking orders off of the Uber Eats platform, doing deliveries in 2023 and in 2024 into 2025. The concerns were different, but they really relate to showing that when we have regulations in the city, that laws that we have here on the books in Seattle, they really can hold companies like Uber Eats accountable so that they pay workers, so that they know what they're getting paid up front and get paid fairly. And then also to make sure that when they're dealing with things like cancellations, that they actually get paid some compensation when it's not their fault.
Did you expect that this investigation will grow such a landmark case?
Well, it started off as actually a complaint by an individual gig worker. And that worker came to us because the worker had been driving for Uber Eats and had participated in a promotion that they called Boost. And the Boost promotion, the basis of it was, if you take this order, we will pay you some number of times what your normal rate is. It didn't explain that that promotion was on a very small portion of the rate. It just said, we'll pay you sometimes the number of the rate. So the worker did a number of these, and would get notices back that his pay statement said, oh, the promotion was a small amount of money, like 3 cents, 4 cents. And they said, this isn't what I expected. This isn't what the promotion said. Why is it this way? And so they came to our office. The Independent Contractor Protection Ordinance, which the City Council passed in 2021, took effect starting September 1st, 2022. This worker came to us in 2023, concerned about what happened. And our paralegal did the original intake. And what we learned once we heard his information, as we asked information from Uber Eats, that there were thousands of people who were taking these Boost promotions and who hadn't gotten paid, and that the information that Uber Eats provided to the workers was basically what often is called a bait and switch. So I promise you that I'll pay you this amount of money if you do the thing, but then I don't pay you what I promised you, but you've already done it. So in this case, we realized, I think, at some point that there were going to be a lot of workers impacted by that statute. Later on, in 2024, another worker came to us and expressed concerns about how they were getting compensated, because under the app-based minimum payment standard ordinance, if you have a cancellation for cause, and that's for a situation for when like a driver comes to a restaurant and it's closed, or somebody has taken the order, something's happened and it's not the driver's fault, they're supposed to get a $5 payment to compensate them for the time and the effort that they've put in.
Showing up.
Yeah, and so that, we learned that that had happened in several thousand cases. And so you add those things together, the original Boost promotion and some other concerns with with independent contractor concerns. And it was over $13 million right there for those workers. And then there was another $1.5 million in remedies going back to workers for the app-based worker minimum payment claims. So in both cases, we had the laws on the books, we had a lot of workers involved, we had several workers come forward, we could do the investigation, and then we could find out that actually there are a lot of people who are impacted.
And more than 16,000 workers are impacted. How quickly they can expect to receive payment, and what difference do you think this will make their daily lives?
Yeah, so a few different things. One is, according to the settlement, our settlement with Uber Eats, it stated that the workers must be paid by September 1st. What we have learned, so that's already passed. So what we have learned is that Uber Eats has sent paper checks to many of the workers who were supposed to receive payment. I should say our office is not handling the payments. It is Uber Eats that is doing the payments. That is their responsibility under the settlement. And so if workers have concerns, we are working with Uber Eats so that they can establish a website and contact for workers to contact Uber Eats if there's a concern about getting payment. But by September 1st, workers should have or should be receiving a paper check. And